Good evening. Welcome to Kit and Car Crash. I am Kit.
And I'm not Car, but a man I wish I was. You just hit me with your
I'm
foot.
sorry,
How
I
dare
just
you?
kicked
Jeez.
you. I just... Bah, bah, bah! Just the violent footsies under the table. So, for today's episode, it's just Kit and Car today. This is Kit and Car's private time.
Going back to our roots. Yeah,
We're
our
going-
private time.
We're going back to our roots, back to the way God intended. Just kidding.
The moment we left sin in. The moment our podcast started going downhill. First episode was the most boring of all of them.
No, I disagree with that, to be honest. I mean,
Who do you
it's
think has been the most boring person so far?
who's been the most boring person. My least favorite episode is probably the first one, but just because it was the pilot episode, and it's like...
It always starts off rocky. And,
Exactly. It's the pilot episode to just see, like, what works and what doesn't. And, you know, like, the quality was not good. We were new to it all.
I leaned back too far. You leaned forward too much.
I was screaming constantly, and you were mumbling and making only little noises.
Yes. And I said, yes. Like a real thing that normal people say, but it wasn't. It was really insane of me.
Yeah. So for today's episode, the topic is actually love languages, romance,
And humor a little bit.
and humor. We want to dive into a little bit of humor if we can connect.
We can be a
the
little
two.
silly as a treat.
Yeah, we can throw that in there. Why don't we? What is your opinion on romance?
I have mixed opinions on romance.
Don't we all?
I think that the general societal concept of romance in the entire thing of like going on dates and everything, I don't really like it that much. I'm not entirely attracted like, we just met and I think I have a crush on you, but I think we should go out and we should go eat sushi and stare at each other across a table. We don't know each other or anything, but we have to like talk over
That's
eating.
what we're doing right now. What are you talking about? We're eating sushi and staring at.
You know, I'm actually not eating it. I've been shoving it under the table this entire time. I'm really sorry.
So if I look under the table,
Don't look under the table.
like the underside of the table is just gonna be like
Dripping.
with, like smashed like raw fish and rice.
A crab crawls up.
But sorry, continue.
Anyway, I'm not super attracted to the concept of dates and stuff. I don't really understand how some people can just like gain a very shallow surface level attraction to each other to just think like, oh, that person's hot, and then not know anything about them and then just want to like go on a bunch of dates with each other. I understand why it happens and everything, and it's like normal to do that, but I've just pretty much never done that before. Like it just doesn't really happen. I have to have some kind of concept of what the person, like who the person actually is. And it's usually gained over like a long friendship or something like that I usually end up going into romantic attraction. That honestly usually doesn't end well either. So I think that romance is a dead end.
All romance dead. Love is dead. If you believe in love, you're wrong. Sorry.
I mean, I think the concept of romance that people have and people are so attracted to is basically just the infatuation stage, because romance long term is not super great from what I've seen and what I've experienced, which, you know, long term, quote unquote, because for me it's like longest I've had is 3 months, or not even that, I don't know. I'm not great at romance actually, I think. I'm a little biased because
so you have a biased opinion.
Yeah, because it's just nothing has gone well for me at all. I'm the problem though, and don't worry about, you know, your stuff going wrong, because, you know, maybe some people are just better fit for that kind of thing, but I'm fine just kind of dipping in and out of it, I suppose. Like, I'll kind of let myself indulge with a few things. Like, if I find someone attractive and I learn a bit about them and they're like, ooh, they're an ENTP and they're very funny and silly, I'm just kind of like on and off.
Top 3 requirements
like ENTP,
to date Kit.
ENTP or INTP.
Yep, this has become a dating show, actually.
Evil.
Evil.
and wears glasses. That's just Albert Wesker. Corona just took her glasses off just so everyone at home knows. Yeah, okay. I'm instantly not attracted to you anymore, by the way.
Oh, good. Good, I got scared for a second. I was. Oh my god! Better take these off. Damn it!
It just breaks them.
Never again.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, you don't want me to be attracted to you. I'll leave dead things at your door or something like that. I've done that actually before. Well, I haven't left. Okay, well I have, but not for people that I like.
Okay.
But I do give dead things to people.
Okay.
Just as a funny little prank, you know. It's nothing too serious. I mean, like
just a little joke.
Little joke of mine, little fun we have here. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Romance is, I think it's fine in concept. In concept, it's a lot better than it is in reality. Everyone hypes it up a lot more than it actually is worth. But that's, what keeps it alive, honestly. So.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, I feel like, I mean, not as humans, but, like, by nature, if we go back to that primal instinct, quote unquote, I guess. I mean, unless, not all people are like this, of course, because there's, asexually romantic people, and others on that end, that, everyone just wants to feel loved by somebody and cared about, so, like, everyone just wants to feel that sort of affection, whether it's physical, whether it's just somebody being there, whether it's like, just knowing that somebody cares about you and likes you is kind of like what mostly people want in life. And especially like, if there's like animals want to mate and have babies. Animals want to have babies and make more animals.
Yes. Humans love fucking, for the
Humans
most part.
do love fucking. Humans do love fucking.
There's an entire industry made out of it. It's really interesting. You should check it out sometime. Search up P.O.
We've got www.porp.
Porp.
www.porp, you guys.
Go porp yourself.
That's kind of, I guess, one of the main, at least from my standing purpose of, like, why people care so much about that,
Yeah, it's just a primal instinct to kind of like, we have to find someone that is a suitable mate, and then we have to court them, and then ensure that there is a lasting emotional bond here so that our mate doesn't leave us because we need a good support system for the offspring because it takes forever to raise and they're a piece of shit. So.
Oh yeah. Like, but it's kind of sad because of that, there's kind of been this expectation that's like, the thing where somebody goes back to their family's house and their family's like, oh, where's your girlfriend or where's your boyfriend?
It's so
it's like, it's like people. There's a misconception about being single, I guess, or just wanting to be by yourself and not have a partner or whatever. People see that as like, oh, you don't have that because you can't get that. A lot of the time, I feel like, it's like, oh, you're single because you're a loser and nobody wants to date you.
Yeah.
Which is very unfortunate, and it's not true. But a lot of traditional seeing people, I want to say old people, but old people.
Yeah, fair amount of them, yeah.
A fair amount of them, they're the ones that are like, oh, you got to get married and have kids. Back in my day, the first woman I ever looked at, I married her at 18, and we had babies.
That happened with my grandparents. My grandparents that live here, they met at 11 years old. Yeah. And they're together now. They're like, I think they're close to 80 at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they met in like dancing class or something.
Yeah.
And we're just like, yeah, okay.
My great-grandparents met, they met at a dance hall as well.
Was that like the thing back then? Like,
yeah.
You just met at dance places?
It was very, just like, that was like an activity that people would go out and do all the time, like teenagers and young people. They would just go.
Crack?
Exactly. What else was there to do? Fuck. Come on.
Yeah.
So they would just go to dance halls and they would meet people, and most of the time I guess it ends up good. Go to drive-in movies and stuff like that back in that time. Yeah, so my great-grandparents met at a dancing hall. My great-grandma was 18 and my grandpa was 21. And they had, like, their first kid when my grandma was, like, 19, I think. And they had 3 kids. Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
my grandparents had 8.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Busy.
God damn. Oh, your grandma must have a...
What?
I was gonna say
A nice bed.
she must got a. I was gonna say a nice. No, not a nice. I was gonna say a pussy of titanium.
Birth that many kids, yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got that right.
About the different types of love that you were talking about and stuff, like we want to feel loved, whether it be physical, or emotional, like those types of ways that we receive love. That leads into love languages and attachment styles and stuff. Love languages. What are your love languages?
I took the love language test, and my top one, I'm pretty sure, was quality time.
Same.
Really?
Yes. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Do you think that I'm gonna look that up because I was gonna say like, do you think that physical touch is like the most common standard love language?
I see it a lot, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
if it's
I
the
also
most
see it
It's
a
my
lot.
bottom one though. Like
It's one of my bottom ones too.
I think
I don't know.
mine
Maybe I'm
goes-
just an awkward person, but
Quality time has been my number one for as long as I can remember. And then I think my next one is words of affirmation, then
Okay.
gift giving, then physical touch, in that order.
okay.
Oh, and then there's acts of service, which I'm not really sure where that was for me. I think that was right next to physical touch.
That one was one of
I
my
don't
top
like that one. Honestly,
don't?
that's not for me. No, I feel like I like setting up schedules for myself, and if someone else is gonna do my stuff, I'm always paranoid that they're gonna mess it up, and also that I'm like pushing stuff on them, which I don't like that. I'd rather take over for someone else because I feel that I can do it better.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Or like I don't know. I just
That's-
I'd prefer to take on more stuff.
That's why acts of service is my love language. Is in like it's one of my top ones because that's how I show somebody that I care about them so much. Is I will do things for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It seems like quality time is the top love language. Is the most popular one. Love language preferred by the most people is quality time. 38% rank this as their top love language. Women, those under 45, 41%, and those 45 and older, are especially like to say quality time. The least popular love language is receiving gifts.
Okay, yeah. So there's two
That's
sides of this
very-
stuff where it's like you might like giving physical touch, but you might not like receiving it. So there's like the two ends of like, do you like receiving stuff or giving stuff more? Which like, I'd prefer to receive words of affirmation, but I'm very bad at giving them. It's so out of character for me to like genuinely compliment people and stuff. Like I don't know what to say, and like it feels so like weirdly. It feels uncomfortably intimate for me because I just don't do that kind of stuff. I like insulting people more than anything. Like if I give someone a genuine compliment, it's like. Ooh.
Why did I do that?
It was so weird.
I am the complete opposite of that. I love to give words of affirmation. I love to compliment people if I love them and I care about them. That's
so
one of
real
my
of you.
ways of flirting is to just like compliment them all the time. That probably just kind of I don't know if that's weird or anything,
No,
but
it's
like
not. No, that definitely that's pretty normal, I think.
yeah. And gift giving, not gift receiving.
Yes.
I hate receiving gifts, but I love giving gifts.
That's okay. I also agree with that.
Yes.
I definitely.
Yes.
I think my number one way of showing my affection towards people is giving people gifts and stuff, like
Oh,
offering
yeah.
them things that I
Yeah.
that I create mostly. It's not
Yeah.
even buying stuff. I like creating things for people
Oh,
because I
yeah.
feel that it means more in the end. I do think that sentimentality does play a huge role in stuff because I'm like it kind of does play into the time aspect too because I'm putting so much effort and time into this. I'm taking time out of my schedule to really put thought into this and build you something. So this means a lot because I value my time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So-
That's how I do it too. Is like the more time for gifts standard. Like if my like closest friends and family for like gifts for like Christmas or like birthdays and stuff, I'll make them something. but how much like time and effort that you can tell that I put into it shows how much
Yeah.
I like you.
Yeah.
Sorry to anybody listening who like they've gotten a gift for me and it's just like a gift card or something.
It's a piece of string.
It's like a store bought, like, you know, like unless I just know you that well and I know that you would rather have something, like, you know, if I make somebody a dish or something, like I make it because I like them a lot, but if I personally know that you would prefer this over a dish, then I'll get you the other thing,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
But so sometimes it doesn't really apply, but for the most part, yeah.
If I'm gonna buy anything for someone, I'm gonna do research on it for sure, because I don't want to just buy some random thing for someone that they're not gonna use in the end or value at all.
Exactly.
I want to like look like, okay, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite franchise? What
There
are your
you go.
interests? What's something that you're actually going to value and use? Maybe you put it on a shelf at least and admire from afar. Like
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to know what they actually want.
Yeah. Like I don't like to just straight up ask people, what do you want for your birthday? Because I don't like to do things that people expect. Like one of my like life mottos is like never let them know your next move. So that's why when people go in for a fist bump for me, I'm gonna grab their fist, like
Bite
just
their
with my
fist.
hand, lick their face.
Yeah.
Like no, but like so.
Burp in their face.
So like I never like to ask people like what do you want for your birthday or what do you want for Christmas specifically. I'm gonna ask you like, oh, what, like if I'm gonna go out and buy you something, then I'm gonna particularly ask you like, oh, what kind of things do you like?
Yeah.
And get like a genuine general like sort of vague thing and then go out and pick something out, because I like it when people do that to me. I don't really, I mean, unless it's like family members, then yes, please get me what I want. But if it's like, you know, like I don't want people to ask me for like a specific item, because then that takes away the surprise of it, and that then they expect what they're getting, and I don't like that, and I expect what I'm getting, and I want it to be something that I can tell that they took the time to pick out and has like a lot of thought into it.
Oh, wait, we can build off of this. What's the best gift you've ever received?
Ooh.
Or ever and ever given to someone?
Ooh.
So yeah, let's talk about this.
The best gift I've ever received from somebody.
I know mine.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. Yeah, I was about 3 years old. This is one of my first Christmases and everything that I had in like an actual cool house, like an actual Christmas tree and everything set up. I was very young, but it is one of my earliest memories. Dad knew that I really liked dinosaurs and everything. My parents knew that I was already like infatuated with dinosaurs, so they're like, "Oh, let's get him something really cool." So they staged this entire thing for this 3-year-old, where they got this present for me, and they took it out of the box and hid it somewhere, and they stabbed a bunch of holes in the box to make it look like it ripped out of the box itself, like it came to life and like bursted out. So they like they were filming it too, I think, at some point. But I remember like going up and looking, like pulling the box out and looking at it and being like, the hell? Because it was like this torn
You're
open
3
box
years old and you're like, yo, Mom,
happened to
what
my
the
present?
fuck?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is so weird. And then I heard a sound from across the room, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Let me go check it out. And so I started like crawling over. I got up on my 2 feet, and I lifted this blanket up that was, draped over a table, and I was like, oh, what's going on? And I lifted up, and it's this animatronic Tyrannosaurus Rex that's like
so
alive.
cool.
My dad was controlling it from the other side, so it was like roaring and stuff. And I remember being elated. Like I was so happy. That was one of like the happiest moments of my life, because I loved dinosaurs so much.
Yeah.
And I like immediately was like, come here. My dad made it like walk out to me, and I probably started crying or something. I don't know. But I loved it. I fell in love with that animatronic dinosaur. It was like my best friend, like my first best friend as far as I can remember, because I was a super imaginative child, and I loved dinosaurs so much. I was like, this is real. this is a real dinosaur to me. Like I knew it was a robot and everything like that, but I was like, no, he's alive. He's alive, and he's my friend, and I love him so much, and I'm gonna spend every waking moment of every single day with him. And I did. I constantly hung out with him, and even when I lost my remote control for him, he kind of just did stuff on his own then.
Oh.
So it was even more like cool and stuff. So I just had him like following me around the house, and I talked to him all the time, and it was just super fun. So that was the best gift I ever received. D-Rex. He was super cool.
Nice. I cannot think of one specific gift that I've gotten from somebody that I like really liked. That was like my favorite. I mean, of course I really like any gifts I get, but like I can't think of one specific one that I'm like that was my favorite. But my favorite sort of gifts to get are just, of course, cards. I love cards. Yep, I love cards. Not gift cards, like cards, like greeting cards that people hand make.
Yeah, I will say that, yeah, the letters that you wrote me in early middle school and stuff, I've kept.
Oh, yeah.
I kept those.
Yeah.
And I value them a lot. I like that kind of stuff.
Let's see here. Or, like, I like drawings, just, like, little drawings, like, whether it's, like, an actual, like full-on painting or just, like, a little doodle.
Yeah.
I like those a lot. But, I mean, like, one specific gift that stands out to me that I got was this most recent Christmas that I'm like remembering was a portrait of Barack Obama that my friend got at like a farmer's market.
At a farmer's market?
Yeah, it was like a print of like a really cool like art style of Barack Obama.
That's pretty cool, actually. That's pretty on point for a farmer's market.
Actually, wait.
What?
There's another gift that really stands out to me, and it was from you. And it was for my 13th birthday. I got a picture of Morgan Freeman.
I gave you a picture of Morgan Freeman?
Mm-hmm. And I hung it up on my wall, and it's still up on my wall. I've moved like 3 times since then, and it's on my wall. It's above my light switch.
Wait, was it a picture or a cutout?
It's a picture.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a photo of like printout of Morgan Freeman, and he stays on my wall.
I think, yeah, because I think you used to do impressions of him or something. Like, you reminded me of him or something like that. I don't know. We had some sort of joke that surrounded him.
There was, I think, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But there's probably an old video or something documenting it. And you also talked about, you talked about Obama, or talked as Obama plenty of times.
I did like to talk as Obama. I did like to do like an Obama impression.
Yeah, I remember that time at the New Year thing at your house. You started talking in an Obama voice, and I threw bees at you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not the worst
The
gift.
worst gift. Let's talk about the worst that we've ever gotten.
The worst gift I've ever gotten were tickets to a indoor skydiving place.
I would kill for that.
I didn't want to do it. I was too
You should
scared.
have given them to me.
Even though indoor skydiving, you're literally like 5 feet off the ground and you're like in a tube and there's like a person helping you, like nothing. Like it's not like if it was actual skydiving, then it'd make sense. But it was indoor skydiving, and I got tickets to the place for like my 11th birthday for my grandma, and I felt so bad because I opened them up in front of like all my family members, and I was just kind of like, oh, like I did like one of those. Then my grandma was like, she was filming me too, so I have like PTSD from this moment because
Yeah, that's what makes Christmas time bad, because everyone's expecting you to love your stuff, and if you don't, then it's like, it's a great performance act that you have to pull off. Is what
exactly,
it is.
yeah. And I opened it up, and so I was like, oh, and she was like, do you like it? And I straight up like looked at her, and I gave her like the face of like, defeat, and then I was like, no. And she was like, what? Like everyone is like standing around, and then everyone started yelling at me, being like be grateful, like you didn't have to like say, and I got into so much trouble because
you literally just told the truth though. Like,
I was like, I'm too scared, and then I felt really bad, and like and then my great grandpa, he was there, and he not the same great grandpa from the beginning. This one was, he yelled out loud. He was like, you want to go to Cracker Barrel? Like the restaurant Cracker Barrel. You know, like...
Why? Like, was he saying it as a punishment? Like, you want to go to Cracker Barrel? You better like these tickets or I'm taking you to Cracker Barrel.
I think that might have been what it was, because after he said that, in response, I started crying. And I said, no! I was like sobbing.
It was a punishment. Oh, that's a great
I don't know
one.
if it was intended as a punishment.
You took
or
it
like,
as a punishment.
He just really
Not Cracker Barrel.
like he really wanted to go to Cracker Barrel.
He just had been holding it in that entire time. He was like, you want to go?
Like, or like that was just like a suggestion, like forever.
But he was just yelling. He was trying to distract people. He was covering for you, and then you yelled no. You really were ungrateful.
No, I should have taken the.
You should have screamed,
trying-
yes!
Like, fuck yeah! Cracker Barrel! And then everyone will start,
Everyone
will
starts
stop.
cheering.
Everyone like immediately stops and is like, Cracker Barrel? Let's go! And then
He starts implying.
everyone gets in the car and we all go to Cracker Barrel.
Like they're chanting.
And we all go to Cracker Barrel and it's a happy ending. Honestly, I feel like if we did go to Cracker Barrel, my life would be different.
Yeah.
Like that specific
Butterfly effect.
Like if that specific time we went to Cracker Barrel, my life would be different. I feel like my life might be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
If only wouldn't have screamed no.
yeah.
Either instance is really funny. If you have a really big reaction to going to Cracker Barrel, I think that's really fucking funny.
That is hilarious. Oh, now we're on to now we can talk about like humor and stuff.
Yeah, now we can talk about humor.
Speaking of what's really funny, do you have...
Me.
That's right.
That's right, you are. Okay.
Do you have anything that you can think of that like you yourself have only been able to find funny? Like
myself? No.
Like if you try and say this to like other people or like out to somebody who's not yourself, it just bombs. But you yourself like find it really funny.
There definitely are things like that. I think it's mostly images though that I find funny that my brain has been rotted, so it just doesn't make any sense to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
There is a picture that I keep in my gallery. I don't know where it is right now, but it's in there, and it's a picture of just chairs in a classroom with blue arrows pointing at them. And it's the funniest fucking image to me. I love it so much. I just stare at it, and I don't know, it's funny. Like, I just love it. And no one else gets it. I show it to Kara, and she just gives me this terrible, scornful face. It makes me want to cry.
Oh no, Kara.
But it's so funny to me.
I have a list. I used to have a list in my phone that was called like things only I find funny.
That's such a good
But that
list.
sounds it sounds like I'm gatekeeping like
You're
these things, like
pretentious.
things that only I'm allowed to find funny,
Yeah.
okay? If you laugh at these, get out. Leave.
Go to sleep.
Go
Go
to
to bed.
Go to bed.
Go
Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Yeah. But I remember one of them was specifically like somebody only eating the crust off of a pizza. Like I thought that
It's really funny.
It is?
I'm sorry. No, it isn't.
Like that's a threat. Like I was I sounded like I was excited. Like it is funny. Like you think that's funny, but it was really like a fucking. Is it funny?
It depends on how
Is that
they
really
eat
funny?
it. I
Okay.
mean, just eating crust off of the pizza is like, okay. But like, doing it if you're like, do it really fast where it's like a spinning routine, you're like, that would be
think of
funny.
like a whole pizza. Like,
Like turning it. It's just,
it's like all one motion.
Yeah.
And it all just like,
yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Or if they like slurp it off like a new like.
And it all comes off in one like long, like.
Yeah. That would be kind of funny. I'd like to watch that.
Okay, yeah.
But just eating the crust off a piece like. That's kind of. so boring. I hit them in
Not
the head with a pot.
funny.
Not funny. Eat it differently.
On the kit scale, not funny.
There's
Yeah.
not funny, there's kind of funny, there's really funny, and then there's holy shit, I'm peeing.
Holy shit.
Actually, that's more of a you scale.
That is a me scale. If I had like a scale of like funny, it would be like on the bottom would be like I'm pissed that you made that joke.
I'm angry.
And then above that would be like I'm embarrassed for you. And then above that would be like it's just not funny. And then above that would be it's so not funny that it's funny.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, like if people make
a really bad pun.
Like a really bad pun like I did earlier. I made a horrible pun and it was suicidal. And then above it's so not funny that it's funny would probably be like it's funny. Like I think to myself that's funny.
Short learned.
I funny. Not I funny. I funny. I think, you know, like, oh, it's a funny premise. You know, I like it's okay. Yeah. And then above that would be, you know, like I like exhale out my nose. And it's just one of those like like one of those. Yeah. And above that would have to be like where I like jump forward and I'm like, you know, I have to do like I have to hide my laughter from the world. Shh, don't tell anybody. Like one of those. And you know, and then above that would probably just be like when I, you know, a lot of times when I laugh like this, people think I'm fake laughing, and I'll do the laugh where I'm like, ha ha. I don't know if that sounds fake, but
like it could be interpreted that way. I can see what people would think it is.
Yeah, or
it's like if a mannequin had a laugh. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. And then above that would probably be like, I'm cackling. I'm laughing out loud, cackling.
I'm literally a witch right now.
So there's the Wicked Witch of the West, right, from Wizard of Oz. Somebody tried to tell me that I sounded like her, but instead of saying the Wicked Witch of the West, they said, you sound like the Witch of the Wild West.
That is your title. That's true.
I am the Witch of the Wild West.
Yeah, I like cackles, honestly. They're cool. Yeah? They're funny.
I love it when people cackle.
Especially when they're evil.
Oh, yeah.
Evil cackles are so good.
Yeah. And then I remember, but like above that would be probably like I am rocking back and forth, not making any noise.
Yeah.
I'm just making my clicking noise. You know, and then above that would be like I am peeing.
Yeah.
The floodgates have opened. Release the Kraken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a wide scale.
Yeah, people laugh when they laugh. They laugh in different ways, like physically. For me, I always lean forward. If something's really funny, I have to lean forward. I know they had an episode with Good Mythical Morning where Rhett said that he did that too or something. I think like he's a lean forward laugher, and Link was like a lean back laugher. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, there's like different types.
That's a good contrast.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
I think I usually lean forward. Do you usually lean forward?
I usually lean forward. Okay. I usually lean forward.
Or lean forward.
Either lean forward or I'm rocking back and forth.
Yeah, the rocking is there too for sure.
Mhm. Yeah. And then sometimes I will start crying. It's almost like my crying laughter is like almost better than my pissing laughter. Like it's funnier. Like if I'm crying laughing, I find it funnier than if I was piss laughing. Yeah,
because it's a hassle if it's piss.
If it's piss,
it's a party if it's tears. It's a hassle if it's piss.
Exactly. Like it's so inconvenient how I piss when I laugh. Like, it got up to the point where last school year, my junior year, there was so many instances where almost every single day I would literally be peeing my pants.
Jeez.
I don't know if I need to get my bladder checked out.
That you need help for that. Like you need to go to a doctor.
Almost every single day. I might have been just drinking a lot of fluids and not using the bathroom enough.
That's possible. Yeah.
That's possible. Like I would have to wear pads, like period pads to school even when I wasn't on my period. So it was literally like I had to wear a diaper. I feel like it was literally like I wasn't
think
potty
you might
trained.
need to go to the doctor.
I don't know, man. I haven't been to the doctor for myself since I was 6 years old.
Yeah, you definitely go to the doctor. Like, yeah, you definitely
Okay.
go.
Yeah, I had to keep an extra pair of pants in my backpack. And then it like stopped after a while, and I didn't pee my pants for a while. Like I was able to like get more control of it or something. And then within the past 6 months, it's probably happened like maybe 2 or 3 times.
Okay, that's fair for you.
I'm doing a lot better, okay? Yeah. I'm in a better place now. That was a dark time. I'm in a better place now. I've gotten the help I need.
What was the help?
I don't know. Drinking, using the bathroom, just drinking in general. I'm an alcoholic. I resort to alcoholism. That helped. That actually helped my bladder problems. No. Just drinking less fluids in the day, using the bathroom more often.
It sounds like you just were denying yourself bathroom breaks.
I think that's what it was.
If you're laughing super hard, it's like your muscles are contracting, and so you're gonna piss if you have a bunch of fluid in your bladder.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I think
like all throughout my life, like I've always been the person that's like, if I can feel that I have to use the bathroom, I'm not just gonna get up and go. Like I'm gonna wait until
you're at bursting levels.
I'm about to burst till I'm like, yeah, and then I'll go to the bathroom. You know?
I've actually developed like bathroom anxiety borderline.
Oh, no.
Like I've had so many occurrences where we've gone on trips and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, do you need to use the bathroom?" I was like, "No, not really." But then we go on this long car ride, and it slowly builds up over time where I'm like, I need to piss so fucking bad right now, but we don't have any place to stop. There's no trees or anything, because I like peeing in the forest if you're on a trip, because it's just like more secluded. I don't like having to go into stores and stuff and be like, well, where's your bathroom? I really need to piss in your bathroom.
In your bathroom.
I need to piss in your toilet right now, please. But yeah, I've had so many occurrences where I've been like trapped in public places where I need to go to the bathroom so bad, and there's no places to go, where I just like hate having to go into public bathrooms and stuff because it's just annoying. So I like having like when I know there's a bathroom around that's like safer and stuff, that's like, you know, I'm familiar with it. I like to go as much as possible, especially when I'm like about to leave, like right before I'm about to leave a place. I always try to go even if I don't feel like I have to.
Oh yeah, me too.
Better to be cleared out.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like addicted to pissing.
Dude, I've also like I've pretty much always been like that, where it's gotten up to the point where like whenever I do use the bathroom, I'm sprinting. I'm full sprinting, almost pee
flying out of you.
Like there's, like I'm just letting loose as I'm like running to the bathroom,
waving in the wind.
And I'm doing that thing where you run into the bathroom and you're like
hyperventilating.
Yeah, you like slam the door shut and like yank your pants down. You're just like
you fly onto the toilet.
Exactly. Slam down onto the toilet seat, and you hear
crack the porcelain.
Just like a thump. You like they're like I have like
water splashes out.
I just like crush the toilet. I like push it into the ground.
I was just gonna like ask, do you think anyone's ever farted so hard, such a velocity that like splashed them? I don't think that's humanly possible, but maybe. Imagine just like a large man sits down in the toilet and blasts it.
And it like echoes. It's like, boom.
Yeah, and he has to.
And it like you hear like it cracks the toilet.
He busts a hole through the ground.
It's like a
It
nuclear.
blows up the pipes. It travels through the pipes, and it blows another person on the other end of the line into the air.
So then it's just like a geyser, like someone sitting on the toilet, and there's like, like shot up into the ceiling.
We're creative geniuses.
Honestly, I mean, like, one of the things that, like, I find so funny that every time I, like, picture it happening, I, like, start to laugh. It's just, like,
you gotta be imaginative.
I know, yeah. Like, we've talked about this many times before, and when we first came up with it, I almost peed my pants. And it's just, like, the idea of, like, crowded like stairwell. And you know how when you're going up the stairs and you're right behind somebody, their ass is just like in your face, right?
So
like,
imagine this.
their fat, smelly ass is right in your face. You catch a whiff. And it's like you can tell they laid waste that morning. Then it happens.
Give the Vine boom sound effect.
Yeah, just like, it's just
Reverberating echo.
it's like and just
You're
imagining
sent flying back into the wall. Your spine cracks. Your feet are lifted.
Everyone
your
in the
flesh is ripped off your skull.
Maybe
Your
I am.
ears bleed. And the screams of surrounding people drown out the noise.
Maybe I am like a back laugher, because like I just noticed like me doing that, because I usually like go like this, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
no.
You unhinge your jaw.
That's what it feels like though when I'm laughing. Like that's what I feel like I look like to other people. You know?
Yeah, it's that one image of that stock photo of a lady holding salad and like opening her mouth really wide, like that commercial. Were we talking about funny?
You were talking about something about affection.
Oh yeah. We
What
wanted
are-
to go over the attachment styles.
Yeah, the attachment
Yeah.
styles. What are those? I've never heard of those.
Never heard of them? Well, okay,
No.
yeah, I'm pretty deep into the funny psychology stuff because I'm mentally ill. Anyway.
Okay, word.
So
Preach.
there's 4 types of attachment styles, but they're just like kind of mixes of them. But the first one is secure, which means that you're confident, reciprocal, non-reactive, and resilient in relationships. Like you're healthy. You're good at handling relationships and romantic relationships in particular. This is mostly pertaining to romantic, but it kind of applies to earlier relationships that you've formed. I mean, it can be applied to anything actually. Fuck me, never mind. Yeah, secure is like the healthy one. Like you're good. You're
Yeah.
set. You know how to communicate. You don't have any problems with like feeling paranoid or anything like that. And then there's the anxious preoccupied, which is you have emotional hunger. You have a fantasy bond. Like you want a bond that isn't really technically based
Like
in reality.
realistic
you want kind
and
of that like
achievable.
soul bond kind of thing that a lot of movies hype up, which it's not.
Oh,
It's not really
God.
achievable. You want that really badly
Yeah.
though. And then there's and then you have lack of nurturing and turbulence. So that's anxious preoccupied is like you're constantly needing something from a partner and you feel paranoid when they don't give you enough. So you're just afraid basically in a way. So you're constantly like, please love me. I need this. Why aren't you giving me this? What am I doing wrong? You're placing a lot of blame in places that it shouldn't be placed. And then there's dismissive avoidant, which is you isolate, you have ambiguity, you have ambivalence, you're emotionally distant. So like in an emotional relationship, you'll withdraw more than anything because you're kind of afraid of it, but you'll still like kind of keep that person within arm's length. But for the most part, if that person doesn't get enough love from you or anything like that, and they leave, you're just like, oh well, this was bound to happen. You create a self-fulfilling prophecy for yourself. So that's what dismissive avoidant is. You just kind of shut them out because you don't believe that you're capable of it, or you like blame them possibly for leaving you anyway. So that's also like self-fulfilling prophecy. This is all self-fulfilling prophecies really. And then there's fearful avoidant, which is internal conflict, dramatic, unpredictable, and ambivalent, where it's you're constantly just you're kind of avoiding certain higher emotions, like deeper emotions and stuff, because you're not really sure if it's stable or anything like that. So you'll kind of pull away, but at the same time, you'll have moments where you like jump back into it and you're like, wait, no, please love me, but actually stay away from me because I'm not actually sure about this. But also, why aren't you paying attention to me? Please keep paying attention to me, but actually, never mind, I don't deserve this. And you start doing blame and everything like that. And yeah, so those are the 4 types. You think you're the last type, don't you? Fearful avoidant. You're avoiding.
Oh shit. You're on to me, man.
Yeah.
You're on to me. You're in my head. Get out of my head.
So I think it's pretty clear that I am not secure.
Yeah. I feel like at times, I'm secure. It kind of depends, you know, which I guess that's a good thing. It's like at times I feel like I'm secure. But if there are issues with myself, it's because of the fearful avoidant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool that you know about this because now I know about it.
Yeah, and now you can
and
research it more because it tells you ways how to help yourself with it.
oh, good.
Because a lot of people aren't really aware that they act like this and that there's
Oh
different
yeah,
types and
for
stuff. 'Cause,
sure.
yeah, people just
For
think,
sure.
oh, well, this is just how relationships work, and this is just how I work in relationships, and it's my fault. It's like, no, it's not. It actually,
Yeah.
it's kind of the fault of your parents. This is what it links back to for the most part.
Is because isn't most of like how you were raised and like how your parents or
Yeah,
guardians like
how you're
treated you in your
interacted with.
childhood
Yeah.
kind of not projects. Is it projects onto how you are in
It
relationships?
reflects on
Reflects.
yeah.
That's what I
But
mean.
also projects works too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the same thing.
there you
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think okay. When I was a child, this also kind of plays into love languages too. When I was a child, my parents weren't around a lot, but that was also kind of my fault because I was also a very independent child. I didn't really want to be around people. I didn't really, I didn't recognize them as people for the most part. Like I just kind of saw them as like, you give me food, that's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm gonna go play with my dinosaurs now and watch TV.
Nice.
But my parents, I don't know. At an early age, my brother was born like 3 years after I was born, so he needed a lot of attention from my parents. And so that attention was placed off of me pretty early on. I got pushed to the outside of the bed and everything, and I was really afraid of the dark at the time. Like I had this terrible phobia of the dark, so I didn't want to sleep alone. I was a very terrified kid. So I got like pushed to the outside of the bed where it's like, oh, you never want to sleep on the edge of the bed, but I was forced to be like crammed up against these people, like almost falling off the bed. That's why I'm actually good at balancing on the edge of beds now. I don't fall off because I'm like trained from childhood to not fall.
Nice.
But yeah, I was kind of pushed out of that center of attention early on, which being center of attention was kind of taught to me to be like the most important thing, because like that was how I got validation, is being the center of attention and being like commended for stuff that I did. So suddenly having that placed off of me made me feel really abandoned all of a sudden, and I didn't understand it as like a 3-year-old or whatever. So I was like, okay, why don't my parents like me anymore? Why are they always gone and paying attention to something else? So I basically took that and was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be on my own now. I'm just gonna leave and deal with stuff, and I'll just kind
There you
of
go.
I'll just deal with it. So I became fearful avoidant, a little bit, yeah, for sure, and also even dismissive avoidant at times. I'm kind of all of them mixed together, because the thing is, my mother, she is, I'm pretty sure, anxious preoccupied, or like the anxious attachment, where she wants something really deep and emotional and stuff, and that's cool. She's like a feeling type, that makes sense. And my father is dismissive avoidant, and so those mixed together actually do create like a fearful avoidant. So yeah, that is a mixture, and I possess
Nice.
all of those. So I tend to lean into that kind of stuff, where if I sense that a person and I are getting a little too close, I will shut them out and leave.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. If I'm enjoying myself just a little too much, where I feel like I depend on this person for a certain amount of happiness, I'll be like, okay, I need to leave, because I can't allow myself to be that happy, because then I have a dependency on them, and that scares me, because in the past, people who I've depended on for certain things have left me, and I've had to be on my own and deal with that. So why go through that again?
Exactly.
Instead of like I'd have to rebuild systems and stuff. So it just like makes sense to me, but at the same time, it is nonsensical, because I'm pushing at people that want to be my friend and stuff. So it's that kind of thing. But I also do want that kind of deeper relationship. Like, it is something that I enjoy, but it's the fact that I enjoy it so much that scares me. Yeah, it's that inner conflict, where it's like I would love to love someone truly and deeply and have this great bond with them and like constantly get along with them and stuff and be able to like do a bunch of things, but also be independent still. But I don't feel that I'm capable of doing that, because there's so much instability within myself for being able to regulate stuff like that, because I never learned how to. I didn't learn how to regulate emotions like that properly, because no one ever taught me or was there for me.
Oh yeah.
In the times that I needed it. So yeah, now I'm kind of just fucked.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that, okay, well actually this kind of links into sort of stuff, because every single relationship that I've been in, or like more often than not, it's people that I get involved with that have a history of lying and betraying and stuff.
No.
But I'm always attracted to them for some reason. I don't know why. And it's like I can't even see it in the beginning because they seem nice at first and they seem really cool and like we click super well. But then as soon as it gets like just a little too deep into stuff, I'm like, this person is acting really suspicious. They're withdrawing from me and they're not doing certain stuff. But I chalk it up to me being paranoid, so I ignore these red flags because I'm just thinking, oh, it's a problem with me. And so it's easy for them to just like lean into that and stuff. And so it always ends up as them leaving. So I've just even more adopted the mindset of, okay, I have to leave first. If anything happens and it seems a little too good to be true, I just leave because chances are it's going to happen again because I know that I have a pattern of being attracted to these kinds of people. So it's just, it's a Ouroboros.
Yeah, I have kind of the problem where, like, I get attached too easily to people and I codepend on people too easly. So it's kind of like the opposite. But it's weird because, like, as a kid, before my sister was born, which was not that long of a time in my life, but before my sister was born, I was a very independent child. And I very much, like, I would always play by myself. Like, I didn't need anybody, and I was really easy for my parents to deal with.
That's what my parents always said. I was an easy
and
kid.
And then my sister was born, and she was a complete opposite, you know. She was the baby. She always needed the parents and always, like, needed this and that. And so I wanted to be more on her level because I liked the attention that she was getting. And it's weird because, like, my parents, like, even though I was a super easy kid and I played with myself just fine, they just thought I looked lonely and needed a sibling.
So they ruined you by trying to help you.
Yes.
Great.
And
classic
so, and so I wanted to get, like, on my sister's level and try and get that equal amount of attention. I didn't want more than her. I wanted to be equal with her.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I just wanted, like, exactly, like, what she had. And I wanted us to be the same. And so that kind of made it kind of flip for me. And then I started depending on people too easily. And now, like, if in, like, relationships or anything and stuff, I commit kind of too fast and too easy. Not too fast, but too easy. Where I kind of I am a hopeless romantic. Yeah, and then I get even more hurt because I kind of created that fake setup in my head.
Yeah, that sounds like anxious preoccupied, personally. Like that's a mixture, but anxious avoidant plays with that as well.
And,
it's they're all connected.
Yeah, and so then, like, in the relationship, if something does go wrong with me personally, I'm not saying anything about it. I'm dancing around it. I'm like, oh, la, 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 ta, ta, ta. I picture myself as a little leprechaun dancing around a bush. It's got a bunch of wasps in it. So I'm just like, la, 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 I shishay. And then the wasps are like, it's like...
They kill you.
And then they kill me. That's exactly it. And then they swarm around me. And I'm like, ah! And then I die.
Drop dead.
Like that's like a metaphor for my, like, me in relationships is a little leprechaun dancing around a bush that's surrounded by wasps, and then the wasps kill the leprechaun.
Mine would be like a slow descent into madness, like a music record that slowly starts getting like really warped, and then all of a sudden it just starts screaming and then it's gone.
And then it just gone.
Yes.
It just
stops.
Like evaporates.
Yeah, and then I leave.
Yeah. There you go. Like my issue is like the opposite. You know, like I'm too driven by emotion.
And that's what makes us such a good dynamic because we just
contrast each other.
And that's what makes it so funny. The people get to hear two different sides of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm very much a feeling type.
But you're not so deep in the feeling.
But I'm not too deep in it.
And I'm not too deep in logic.
Exactly. Like that's what makes
I'm capable of feeling and stuff.
Yeah. What it is it's like a drug.
Yeah.
Is the feeling. What are we at right now?
What are we at?
We're an hour 15.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's what we were aiming for.
That is pretty good. We stayed mostly on topic the whole time. Yeah. Literally last episode we went so off topic. Like we didn't even like come back to it. We were just we were sponsored by.
I was gonna say Jeffrey Dahmer for some reason. That's not true. No.
We are sponsored by Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay, campers.
Chris McLean is back. We're sponsored by
So
Chris McLean.
Basically, we're sponsored by Jeffrey Dahmer, and we're sponsored by top 20 freakozoids, and
We're sponsored by Derek Zoolander.
sponsored by Derek Zoolander, who's a really handsome and amazing man.
We are sponsored by Chris McLean.
That's so freaking cool.
Thank you. I also can do the I did it last night, and someone said that I sounded like it was the yeah. We're sponsored by Lil Jon.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Little John be bullshit.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Yo.
Yo.
Goodbye.